Raccoon Rampage is a family-friendly, semi-cooperative game for 3 to 4 players that plays in around 1 hour. Developed from concept to what you see here today by a team of game designers and scientists in the field of invasive species. The North American raccoon shouldn't be in Europe, but it is. There's 1.5 million of them in Germany alone, and populations are growing in France and across the rest of Europe. They prey on native wildlife, destroy your attic, and wreak havoc in your bins. There's agreement that something needs to be done about the problem, but disagreement of what the best solution would be. The game plays out over 5 rounds. Each round a new event is revealed, revealing new opportunities and challenges for the players. Telling the story of Europe over the next 20 years, each scenario tells of a different possible future for Europe. Each player chooses a role. The 4 roles have different ideas about how we should be dealing with the problem. The hunting lobbyist thinks trapping and hunting raccoons should make up more of the solution. They get points by reducing population and by passing hunter-friendly policies. In opposition to them, the animal rights activist believes that it's not the raccoon's fault they're here, we should adapt to them rather than hurting the raccoon. They get points by passing humane policies. Rounding out the roles, the French and German environmental agencies have a more regional focus. Concerned mostly with mitigating the impact of the raccoon within their own borders, they get points for that and for having a low population at the end of the game. However, raccoons don't respect national borders, so they still have to work together on the problem in Europe. Throughout the game, players will be placing policies on a policy queue at the top of the board. These represent ideas on how best to deal with the raccoon invasion and require votes in order to pass and have an effect. They'll be placing votes on these, convincing other people to vote on them, making deals. Each turn before the player makes their move, the queue moves. With one new policy being revealed, and the policy that fell off the queue is to be evaluated. This policy required 3 votes to pass and received 2 votes from the hunter and 1 vote from France. This means that we will get the effect of rolling 2 dice. The result being 1 skill, we get to remove 1 raccoon from France. As the hunter had the majority of votes, they get to decide where it happened. However, to get France to vote for their policy, they'd agreed to remove any raccoons from France. As we have removed the raccoon from the board, the impact tracker moves 1 space towards the green. However, if the hunting lobbyists hadn't managed to negotiate successfully with France, the policy might have failed with only 2 votes. In this case, spread happens. New raccoons are added to the board, and for every raccoon added, we move a space up the tracker. If the players ever reach the final space on the tracker, instant failure, game over. After the queue phase, the player phase starts. The player consults their hand, looking for policy cards to add to the now vacant slot at the back of the queue. The remaining cards in their hand can consist of action cards that can provide them with extra votes for this turn, or other fun and interesting effects. The player then places any votes they have on policies on the queue, and play proceeds to the next player. At the end of the game, after all 5 rounds have been concluded, if the impact tracker is in the red, everyone loses. If the players have successfully managed the raccoon impact throughout the game and we're in the green, then it's a collective success, but the player with the most victory points wins.